Long ago, before woman chose the bear, we need to travel back to where it all began, when the bears belonged to the boys. Etched in history as the classic novel Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh was first published in 1926, written by A.A. Milne
is how you say his surname.
And years after, bears have established a place in children's literature. Paddington Bear, Berenstain Bears, and Corduroy Bear, which was published in 1968. This was the real first time a woman chose the bear. Fast forward to 1961. Mr. Walt Disney personally himself had signed a licensing deal for Winnie the Pooh. This later led to full ownership in 2001, costing Walt Disney $350 million. Only to be public domain 20 years later. Horror directors rejoiced. During the Disney era, the Pooh has spawned books, television shows, toys, and a series of movies, with the last one being Christopher Robin starring Ewan McGregor.
Pooh? Christopher Robin.
Evelyn warned me.
I like to be warmed.
I honestly like this movie because all the cast, Winnie, Piglet, Tigger, they all existed as tangible characters in the world instead of simply being an extension of Christopher's imagination.
My name is
Christopher Robin. Everyone down here knows who.
It didn't make Christopher Robin look like he had schizophrenia coming back to haunt him in the form of his childhood stuffed animals. It was nice seeing them interact with the real world and the people in it. But for this video, I want to focus on the cartoon, and one specifically being an episode that stuck with me since I saw it many years ago. The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. When I was a kid, admittedly, I wasn't a big fan of Winnie the Pooh. I was more of a Don Bluth kid, where the animals tend to suffer more than the average Disney movie.
Mrs. Jonathan Brisby?
Why, yes, he was my husband. But how do you know about him?
Looking back at a few episodes, I can appreciate it as an adult. I'm still skeptical about the bear, though. He's a gluttonous stack of stuffing who may one day sell your soul for a small drop of honey.
It's not an addiction, bro, I swear.
To this bear, honey is life. If you don't have it, you better pray. But no matter what trouble he got into, there was always one little guy who stuck by his side. Piglet, who was the star of this episode. Shovel, shovel, toil, and trouble. We start off with Gopher rounding up the boys for a new package that he got delivered. He begins to tear away at the package and reveals his new lover.
Lucille!
He grasps Lucille in his arms until Piglet arrives the next day.
But shouldn't you actually do something with Lucille? Like maybe dig?
Taking Piglet's advice, he starts up Lucille and takes her for a spin. Lucille takes Gopher to Rabbit's home and completely digs down his house a few meters. Gopher at this point is completely whipped. He's hooked on the digging drug and makes his way towards Pooh. He digs Pooh a new cliff right next to his house. To be fair, Pooh would 100% want this if you told him he could fill it with honey. Gopher then stops by Piglet's house to reveal what is to become of Tigger.
As soon as I'm done renovating Tigger's house, I'll come help you out.
Piglet heeds his warning and then summoned to a newly black-pilled rabbit, who was devising a game plan on how to deal with Gopher's newfound rage. Piglet tries to calm the situation until Tigger arrives, who is wrapped in bandages from Gopher's new renovations.
That handed ground under minutes. I can't talk about it, funny boy. Too humiliating.
Seriously, he fucked Tigger up. Rabbit is set on putting an end to Gopher's machinations.
Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
We're right behind you, Captain Faith.
Oh dear.
And left behind by Piglet, who instead returns home only to be Gopher's next victim. His house sinks to the ground before he can enter. This was then Piglet realized that Gopher is out of control. He begins to take matters into his own hands and breaks into Gopher's home. Piglet triggers the security system and manages to escape with Lucille. With Piglet back at home, he comes up with the idea to bury Lucille and hide it from Gopher, which I guess makes sense. I mean, that's what Lucille's made for, right?
Maybe if I explain, he won't hurt me so hard.
Piglet fires up Lucille and immediately loses control. Meanwhile, in the middle of the night, Gopher rounds up Pooh, Tigger, and Rabbit to deliver news that his precious shovel has been stolen. Pooh spots some fresh tracks that belong to the culprit, and everyone makes their way towards Piglet's house and realize he is nowhere to be found. Gopher thinks whoever stole Lucille must have stolen Piglet too. Rabbit sees a freshly dug hole and thinks the thief may be down there. Gopher is getting ready to throw hands and then finds out Piglet is at the bottom of the hole.
See?
Ouch.
Piglet calls out to his friends to reveal that it is only him and Lucille at the bottom of the hole.
Lucille! Never thought I'd see you again, my little lotus blossom.
The thought that Lucille was stolen sparks a rage within Gopher. He demands to know who did this, and Piglet slips out that he was the one who in fact stole Lucille.
But how could you do that, Piglet?
Gopher asks why, and Piglet tells him that it was the only way to get him to stop. Psycho. Gopher realizes the error in his ways.
What you're saying is that I may have been digging where I didn't belong.
Maybe.
Gopher states that he will make right by everyone, and then Piglet asks for forgiveness for stealing the shovel, and Gopher asks for forgiveness in return for digging where he doesn't belong. The only thing left to do was to trick their friends into thinking there was a third party who was a shovel stealer and a Piglet kidnapper. It was here that Piglet and Gopher stage a gang beating and convince their friends that the phantom thief will never return.
Take that, you yellow-bellied shovel-snatching thief!
Piglet and Gopher climb out of the hole, all covered in dirt and bruises. At least I think they're bruises. Probably not.
But it was a close shave. You know something? After all this excitement...
Gopher then tells everyone that he will put the shovel to rest. He then reveals that he purchased new products that will be arriving in the future, and to everyone's horror, they run away, and that concludes the episode. The end. Now, this episode isn't anything amazing. I just like the idea that not only did they lie to their friends, but they also decided beating the shit out of a thief was the best course of action to solve the whole issue. I have no qualms with this, by the way. It works for me as a kid, and it's a value I still have as an adult today.
Back when I first saw this as a kid, I thought Gopher was the one that was beating the shit out of Piglet for stealing the shovel, but I guess that wasn't the case, just revisiting it. But I've held on to that memory for so long, I just had to look up this episode. When it came popping back up into my brain, I was a little disappointed that's not actually what happened, but I still think it's funny that, you know, beating the shit out of someone for stealing something in a children's show, especially something like Winnie the Pooh. This is really funny. And the whole reason why I just wanted to take a look at this episode and talk about it.